Did he ever ask for you to pay more than $500?
I mean, he's asked for money. He just day before yesterday asked for $300 to turn his electricity back on.
Okay, so I have here child support at $1,095 plus medical at $250 is $1,345. We are establishing that Mr. Infante is the biological father of the child Anna Conroe. She was born before the parties were married. The other child, Mario, was born during the marriage. Parties are in agreement to be appointed as joint managing conservators, and Mr. Infante will designate the children's primary residence in Dallas or any contiguous county. They are in agreement for Ms. Infante to have a standard possession schedule. Neither parent has access to private health insurance at a reasonable cost, so Mr. Infante will apply for government coverage. Ms. Infante has agreed to pay child support at $1,095 per month beginning July 1st, and medical support at $250 per month beginning July 1st. And they're in agreement that retroactive child support should be calculated for 7 months, but are not in agreement on the amount of credit that Ms. Infante should be given. I will call the father, Mr. Infante. Will you please state your name?
Mario Infante.
And what are the children's names in this case?
Anna Conroe and Mario Infante III.
Okay. And you and Miss Infante are married, is that correct?
Yes.
And when did y'all get married?
March 5th, 2011.
Okay. And so Anna was born before the marriage, is that correct?
Yes.
And are you admitting today that you are her father and agree to establish that you are her biological father?
Yes.
And if we're establishing you as Anna's biological father, are you wanting to have her last name changed to Infante instead of Conroe?
No.
Okay. And have you filed for divorce?
No. I'm the process of it.
Okay, but you've not filed anything officially with Dallas County or any other county?
No.
And those agreements that I read out earlier, are you still in agreement to those terms?
Yes.
All right, and you've had possession of both of the children since November of 2022, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And from November of 2022 up until now, did Miss Infante send you any money to support the children?
Yes.
Okay, how much did you receive from her?
She's usually sending $500 a month.
Okay. And so in November, did she send 500?
She started December.
Okay,
When
so
send me money.
Okay, so between December and now, were there any months where she did not send you $500?
No.
Okay, December. And has she sent you $500? Well, so there's been 6 months, December through May, where she sent you $500?
Yes.
And would she send it through an app? Would she give you money in person?
At first it was she would give me cash, and then she started sending me through Cash App.
Okay, and so 6 months with $500 each month comes out to $3,000. Are you agreeing to give her credit for $3,000?
No.
And why are you not in agreement to give her credit?
No, I said I am in agreement to give her credit
Oh, I apologize.
for the $3,000.
Okay. And so we've
No, you're good.
calculated the retroactive child support. Let me subtract the credit. So after the credit, the back child support would be $4,665. Is that the amount you're requesting?
Yes. I mean, that's the back charge, yes.
Okay. Has there been any family violence between you and Ms. Infante in the last 2 years?
Yes.
When's the last time an incident occurred?
July 18, 2022.
And what happened at that point?
I got arrested and I'm dealing with it right now in court.
And there was an incident between you and Ms. Infante?
Yes.
And can you describe what happened?
No, I can't.
And in that case, were you the aggressor or was Ms. Infante the aggressor?
I was the aggressor according to the court.
Okay. And is it?
What was your answer again, Mr. Infante? We didn't hear your answer.
I was the aggressor.
Okay. And is the case still pending?
Yes, I'm going.
Can you repeat your answer? You cut out.
I said, yes, I'm going through court right now.
Okay. And when you were arrested, were you in jail for 3 days?
4 days.
Okay. And what charge have you been charged with?
Assault, family member with bodily injury.
Okay. And do you have any safety concerns with Miss Infante having your address or phone number?
No,
And with this family violence, do you still believe it's in the best interest of the children to be appointed joint managing conservators?
yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell the court that's relevant to the case?
No, I mean, other than the only reason I had to move out is because the court ordered me not to be in that residency, so I couldn't be there. But not nothing other than that.
I'll pass the witness. I'll call the mother, Miss Infante. Will you please state your name?
Christina Infante,
And let's see. So your child Anna, who is Anna's father?
Mario.
Okay. And when she was born or conceived, were you married to anyone at the time?
No, ma'am.
And are you in agreement today to find that Mr. Infante is her biological and legal father?
Yes, ma'am.
And her last name right now is Conroe. Do you want to leave it as Conroe or change it?
Yes, ma'am. I want to leave it.
Okay. And have you filed for divorce?
I have not.
Okay. And did you hear those agreements that I read out in the very beginning?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still in agreement with those specific terms?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What in those agreements that I read out do you not agree to?
I was told that
Tell me what somebody told you.
I was told in the previous room that
Please don't
my
tell me what
monthly,
somebody told you. Just tell me what you don't agree to.
that my monthly child support with medical support would be $1,345.
Okay. So I have here child support at $1,095 plus medical at $250 is $1,345.
Okay.
And what did you say the total you were thinking is?
No, that's what I'm sorry. I heard a 95 and I got confused. 1,345 I agree with.
Okay.
But regarding the back child support, I would like to contest
Ma'am,
that.
she's asking me about that right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just trying to
Okay.
confirm what y'all have agreed to, and then we can go into the contested issues.
So it does sound like you agree to all of those terms I read out at the beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the retroactive child support, is it correct that both children have been living with Mr. Infante since November of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And during that time period, were you giving or sending him money for support of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Each month, was there a specific amount you would give him or would it vary?
I agree with what he said.
Okay, so $500 a month since December,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's a total of $3,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so after the credit applied, the retroactive child support, I calculated at $4,655. Do you agree to that amount?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and why not?
During the time that he was gone, before he had the children, I was left with the apartment. I understand that he wasn't allowed to go back because it was court ordered, but he never contributed to that. And also, even though he's been the primary custodial parent, I had to go to truancy court for Anna. And I think that amount that I had to pay should be considered.
And so, so at one point you and Mr. Infante and the children were all living together, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and was it the incident the family violence incident that he described that caused y'all to split up?
Yes, ma'am.
And so he moved out in July of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so from July through November of 2022, the kids were living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you said you had truancy court for Anna. How much did that cost?
I believe it was $250.
And was she missing school days while you had her or while the father had her?
Well, the father had her, and as well, I'm being contacted by truancy court for my son as well.
Okay. And do you know if those dates he's missed school are while he was in the father's possession?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And since the kids were living with you after y'all split up, what was the cause for them to go both live with Mr. Infante?
I'm not completely sure, ma'am.
For the record, Mr.
Did we lose him?
Oh.
Was what got left out here, but go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. You said you're not sure why they went to live with him?
No, ma'am.
What? So we know at some point the kids were both with you. So what happened or can you describe, or when did the kids go to live with him permanently?
I would assume that it is because of the hours that I work. I typically work about 14 to 16 hours a day.
And so did you and the father talk about the kids living primarily with him?
Not specifically, no.
Okay. And so did he just like pick them up from school one day and they stayed with him, or how did that work?
They were coming over and then he was picking them up. And then eventually they just started staying with him.
Okay. And there has been family violence in the last 2 years between you and the father, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And can you describe the incident that took place last July?
Yes, ma'am. I came home from a business dinner and he was intoxicated. We had a verbal disagreement. He shoved me around. I took the kids to the room and locked the door. He proceeded for an hour to try to break down the doorknob with a kitchen knife until the police arrived and arrested him.
Okay. And is it correct that they charged him with assault on a family member?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is it correct that case is still pending?
As far as I know, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And other than this July incident, have there been any other issues of family violence between the two of you?
I mean, I don't have specific instances. It was pretty tumultuous for a while.
And has there been any other instances of physical violence or verbal violence?
Since then,
Yes.
No.
Okay. And then what about before July?
tons.
Okay. And would you say that Mr. Infante is the aggressor?
Not always.
Okay. And so y'all are getting physical back and forth with each other.
There were times, yes.
Okay. And has Mr. Infante ever harmed the children?
Never.
Okay. They were in the room during that July incident though, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And even with this family violence, do you believe that you and Mr. Infante can still co-parent and make decisions for your kids together?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any safety concerns with your address or your phone number being in the court order?
No, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness.
Just a couple questions, Mr. Infante. Who came up with the amount of $500? You or Mr. Infante?
Mr. Infante.
And did he ever ask for you to pay more than $500?
I mean, he's asked for money. He just day before yesterday asked for $300 to turn his electricity back on.
Okay, but nothing on a regular basis. I mean, y'all agreed that it should be $500,
Yes, sir.
and then there were some times, I guess, here and there where he might have asked for something additional, but he didn't ask to change the $500 amount, did he?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go and make my ruling. We're establishing paternity. From what I understood, I guess it was announced there was no family violence, but it sounded like there was some family violence. I'm gonna go ahead and do joint managing and not make a finding of family violence. Standard visitation, government medical, child support $1,095, medical support $250 a month, and I'm not doing any retroactive child support, so no back child support. Being that y'all split the kids half and half there at the time, and then also that's what y'all agreed to pay was $500. So you paid everything you're supposed to, maybe a month different, but I'm not going to worry about a month. So there's no back child support. This will all be beginning July 1st, and that'll be the order. The Attorney General's office will draft an order and email you both a copy. You're done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Thank you.